Well, welcome again, and welcome everyone to our first author spotlight. Tonight, we're excited to join the wife writing duo Rivers, authors of this, A Simple, Complex Love Story, and Why Not Us. And if you see below, I've put the link so you can go directly to their website to check out their books, their bio, and all the things and support these authors. So I'm Tangi, the founder and host of Melanin Manuscripts. So it's nice to meet y'all.
Yeah,
So
nice to
happy
meet
y'all
you too.
connected.
So sorry, really sorry.
Okay.
And
We
we,
here now. We here now. We're gonna do it. Um, so good. So we're gonna just jump right in.
Sure.
So for those who may be meeting you both for the first time, I just want you guys to just tell us a little bit about yourselves.
You can go.
I'll go. So I'm Naomi. I am one half of the wife writing team of Naomi Rivers. We have been together as of last month, 24 years, and
Oh
we,
wow.
yeah. Next month is the jubilee. Next year is the jubilee. We've been writing together for over 20 years. Kind of started off as a book. Rivers may think that that's a little bit different. That it was just kind of an exercise for us to stay together while we were while she was deployed, and I'm military as well, just to stay connected. But we had so much material, maybe like around, I don't know, when we were in Chicago, 2018 ish, that we said, and we knew a lot of authors that we got enough material to publish a book.
Mm.
And those author friends were self-published, successfully doing that, and we kind of picked their brains. We talked a little bit about it and got an editor while we were living in Chicago, and it birthed this, the simple, complex love story.
Wow. I love that. I love that. That's exciting. And just the journey, just doing that all on your own, it hits different. And that's why I was telling folks when we first joined on here, like this space is to amplify authors, but more importantly, indie authors, because it's a lot of work.
That's right.
Thinking of the story, writing the story, and then getting that thing out there for readers to connect and snag it. You know what I mean?
And
So
quite frankly, that's the easy part. The writing is the easy part. It's connecting with folks like you that are willing to share their platform
yeah,
to get the story out there and such that people are aware of it, right? Because it doesn't magically just happen.
absolutely. Yep,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just telling folks, a big part of why I started the author spotlight was I would get messages or DMs from folks, asking like, hey, can this be your book of the month for our book club? Well, it's only 12 months in a year. And oftentimes we've already picked one or we picked ahead. And I was like, I don't want to do a bunch of no's. So instead, how else? And I'm like, oh, well, we may not be able to make it the book of the month, but let's do like a spotlight and do an IG live or author chat, just another way to amplify authors and, like you said, expose your story to other readers who may not be aware, because there's so many authors. Sometimes we miss a few, right? But I'm happy you guys are here and that we connected. When we think about the writing part, what you said was easy. What is your writing process? Especially the fact that it's two of you, what does the writing process actually look like? Like, do y'all divide chapters, characters? What is that? How you
Yeah,
do it?
so in let me be clear. So actually getting a good story, making sure that it makes sense, that it's something that somebody would want to read. I shouldn't be dismissive and say, oh, that's easy, but I mean, compared to getting the
Yeah.
story out there that's what I was relative. So the first book, it really was a back and forth iterative process. I would write a piece, hand it off to Naomi. Naomi would do her piece and, hand it in. So it evolved over 20 years of doing that. Because of course, and I say, of course, not of course, I was active duty. And so, I had other obligations. I'm in and out of the country. And so it just took a minute to bring it to life. The second one, Why Not Us? Naomi wrote the entire book, handed the entire manuscript off, and then I like to say I put the sauce on it. So,
That little
so,
silence, little dab.
right. Well, and because we have different talents, if you will. I was an architect in past life, did construction management, facilities management. Naomi's in the healthcare field, so we look at things from from different lenses, right? And so, as much as the administration would like us not like to not believe that diversity isn't important, it's important, right? Different
Yeah.
perspectives, different experiences, and so the third one I'm writing and I'm going to hand it off.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, teamwork, right?
Yeah,
Teamwork.
that's right.
Make
That's
the
right.
dream work.
That's right.
So one of the things that you put in your submission, and I made note of it, and I really loved it when you said you write about what happens after the fairy tale. So what does that really mean for you all? Like, what inspired you to focus on relationships after people fall in love rather than just the chase?
Mm,
Well, we like the chase, right? We like the chase. We like that, that the happily ever after. But
Mhm.
the happily ever after is the beginning,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
You got to learn how to live with that person who you have fallen head over heels with. And I don't necessarily mean live in the same space, but just live with who that person is. And
Mhm.
how do you two make adjustments, right? You want to really learn somebody, travel with them, try
Mhm.
to undo some Christmas lights, or let somebody right, or let somebody get sick to see what really comes out. Because we're all raised by different people, right? So we all come with our own kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so why not us? Was an established couple, and one of the best friends got sick, and when she got sick, she had a 9-year-old daughter. And what happens then to the relationship? How do we step in and step up for the people who we love, right, who
Right.
really matter to us? Because sometimes the folks who we call our relatives, the biological people, don't always step up. And that's what we're writing about. And so we're writing about chosen family, the messy dynamics, the family concerns, the relationship things, the conflict that you gotta navigate if you want a successful relationship.
Right.
So, it's not preachy. Cancer is a heavy kind of topic, but we do it with a lot of humor. We do it with some grace. And then, and a review or two said that we made Baltimore show up, and we made caregiving important.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's dig into book one, this, a simple, complex love story. Can you guys just tell us about Jasmine and T, who they are? Why do you think readers fall in love with them?
so Jasmine is a social worker who takes her skills
Oh,
onto
sure. Me and Jasmine the rest of the day. Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
and so she wears her heart on her sleeve. She loves hard. She loves her friends hard. And she can be a bit um, Teresa or T is more laid back. In the first book, she is let's just say she doesn't like being nailed down. She's had a number of partners, and she is a little bit loose with just the relationship whole aspect. And so, but she's an art teacher, so she's more, again, laid back but kind of artsy.
Yeah.
Um, and so, her being a teacher, though, she likes to, she obviously is a public servant as well. So they kind of have that kind of soft spots between the two of them. Um, some back in the day, some people would probably call T a player. So
I think.
and so they meet in Baltimore's in a harbor. They meet at the harbor. T is an athlete, former athlete, and she still likes to take care of herself. Jasmine, she walks, but she walks because it's the right thing to do, not because she loves it. Right. So they meet together because Jasmine is out at the harbor, T is running, and then Jasmine's dog is running after T, and so it becomes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And so speaking of Baltimore, so Baltimore's Inner Harbor in the story and what I've read from the reviews and all the good things was it felt like another character in the story. So why was that setting so important for you all? Or why was that the chosen setting?
At least for the first two books, it was because people know Baltimore, right? Up and down the East Coast, we know Baltimore. But
Yeah.
when people ask, and well, what about Baltimore? You hear about Homicide, that was
Mm-hmm.
filmed here many many years, and you hear about The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore is a lot more than just those two stories. And don't get me wrong, love both stories, followed them, saw the actors out in the community. But Baltimore's more than that. And we wanted to share the highlights and the good parts about Baltimore. And I think people will see that in the book.
And Naomi grew up here
Oh
largely.
yeah. And I'm originally from Virginia, daughter of the South, but yes, that's right. That's right.
Okay, I love that. I love that. So this title itself is intriguing. This, a simple, complex love story. What does that title mean to you all? I'm always interested when people pick the title. So I'm just
Sure.
interested, like, how'd you come up with that?
It's a bit wordy, however, it it was, how you're like, hey, what's happening between us? Like, what is this? Right? And so the book, as we're writing, that kind of continued to show up. Like, what are we doing here? What is like, they were in a they were at a friend's house looking after the house, and Jasmine is like, questioning herself, like, what am I doing and what is this? And so that particular thing kept showing up. But then the second part of it was, and we sort of have this tagline: does love have to be complicated? Because again, Jasmine is a social worker. She's very deeply feeling person, but also she's an overthinker. So
Mhm.
sometimes we get in our own way,
Yeah,
and sometimes we have to be open to possibilities.
right.
And so that's what that second part speaks to.
Okay. And I always wonder, do folks come up with the title before they write it or after? Is it after for y'all? What is that?
I
What
think
comes to mind? Or is it midway or in between while you're writing?
for us it's kind of after the story has to speak. And you know what, again, because it took us a long time to write this,
Yeah.
it it sort of reveals itself over
Yeah.
time. And so the Why Not Us came probably a little bit quicker. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of during it reveals itself.
Okay. So why not us? Book two. It's the readers reunite with Jasmine and T, but this time they're navigating caregiving, grief, life's unexpected challenges. Why was it important to continue their story?
Kind of similar to what I said earlier, because it the happily ever after is the beginning.
To
It
keep it going. Yeah.
right, to keep it going,
Yeah.
and life happens, right, and couples have to figure out how to navigate that, and I think Why Not Us certainly demonstrates that, and how we can do that successfully,
Yeah.
because we bring our whole village, right? As
Right.
a couple,
Mhm.
the friends that we have, we bring all of them together into the table when a couple gets together.
Yeah. And I just love a good series. When you have a good story, I want to keep it going. I want to see what happens after more than the
Sure,
epilogue. Like, give
sure,
me another book. So I love
sure.
that y'all have this too. Yeah.
That's part of it
Um,
too. That's part of it too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So cancer, we mentioned that earlier.
Mhm.
Caregiving, chosen family, a lot of emotional topics. How did you balance those heavier themes while still telling this hopeful love story?
I think the balance is was in, you got to leave folks with hope, right? And so sometimes unfortunate things happen to folks, and how do we get through that, right? We get through it with a support group, we get through it with the family group, we get through it with the chosen friend group. And you know, Rivers mentioned I'm a healthcare provider, and so part of that was also sharing about what cancer looks like, and how, you know, we can we can challenge sometimes the medical community to do right by women that look like us,
Mhm.
um, with, you know, those diagnoses. And so some of that is in the book, that we do have to advocate for ourselves and for the people that we love, to get the treatment. But at the end of the day, you got to leave folks with hope.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And you kind of answered my other question, like, what's the takeaway after finishing that? You know, what do you hope readers take away after finishing both of the stories? Um, which character feels the most like one of you?
Ruh-roh.
Just such a combination.
There's a combination.
There's
Yeah, a little bit of both.
there really is.
Yeah, I think, and if you ask our friend group, they would clearly identify one character with Naomi, the other one with me. Um, but as I mentioned, for instance, you know, they would address us when the first book was first published. They would address her as Jasmine, and it's like, no, 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 it's fiction, right? And then they would address me as, oh, well, you're Teresa, and I'm like, Teresa was not necessarily, particularly early in the book, a
Yeah.
nice cat. Like, she didn't necessarily do right by the people that were the ladies that she happened to be affiliated with. And so I'm like, I personally don't want that
Yeah.
reputation. But yeah, I think if you looked at from a creative perspective, I'm probably, you know, the creative of the two, although Naomi is very creative as well. But in terms of art and painting and all of
Yeah.
that, I probably align more with Teresa. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, I think there's another character, there's a friend character, Stephanie, who's a clinical psychologist.
Okay.
And that's probably closer to me, kind of the wisecracking. I'm gonna give you this straight, no chaser. This is
Yeah.
this is what we need to do.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But
I like that.
Sandy, you want to hear something funny before you go
Yeah.
on? No. By the end of this, I personally, now mind you, I helped write the thing. By the end of this, I didn't like Stephanie. It is a fictional character. So
Be
just
like that. It'd be like that. It'd be like that.
yeah. So that's interesting to hear that she aligns it, you know. Anyway,
Well,
yes.
and it's funny you say that liking the character because I was gonna say, out of the characters, was there one that challenged you the most while writing?
Ooh, we it would be Paul.
The
Okay.
second book.
The
The
second
second
book.
book,
You're right,
yeah.
right. And why not
Got it. Okay.
um Portia, the 9-year-old daughter, her dad is in the book, Paul. And Paul has some really deep-seated thoughts about his daughter being with this lesbian couple.
Mhm.
He shares that, but he hasn't stepped up. But he certainly shares that information. And people who have read the book, whether they have known us or not, have certainly verbalized their concerns about Paul.
Mhm.
And he's not been a favorite character, but he is the one that comes up most often.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and thinking about the characters again, did any character like surprise you and take the story somewhere you just weren't expecting?
I'm Portia, the 9-year-old.
Okay.
The way that, and you know, children are very insightful. And the
Mhm.
way that she pushed back against the things that the grown-ups were telling her.
Yeah.
And you know, because of her education and upbringing, Portia had access to, you know, a little bit of a, I don't see my finger up, a little bit of a
Little swanky
little
school.
swanky school, and so she had some different expectations as to what she
Yeah.
thought the adults should be doing around her.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, so good. Anything else you want readers to know about these stories?
I think and you know, sometimes people will go, well, you know, can you expand your reader base? And I think you can, because one, love is universal.
Mm-hmm.
I think many couples go through various situations that, they can get some information in our book, they can escape and go, to the books. So I think, for our target audience, we certainly have them. When we're vending and tabling, we find other people are drawn to some of the stories,
Right.
particularly locally, because we do talk so much about Baltimore, and they're like, I feel like, I've been on that street, I've eaten in that restaurant, so forth, so on. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just add that I would like people to take away that, again, love is universal, but that we can, it boils down to like basic human decency and like showing up for people and bringing your authentic self. We want people to come away sort of feeling that, hey, maybe I need to call this person because I haven't talked to them in a while.
Yeah.
Um, or I need to do these things to do right by my heirs, if you will. And I say that because, of course, with cancer, we're talking
Yeah.
about, some very serious situations. And so we hope then that people will then take seriously about their, talking about how they want to live and what they want to happen after they're no longer here.
Yeah.
Um, which is interesting to say for a book that's classified as a romance in the romance section, but it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important. So yeah,
Mhm. And it's very important in our community.
that's right.
The Black community,
Absolutely.
we need to be more comfortable with talking about what happens after and
That's
preparing
right.
Absolutely.
for after.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So good. Pride Month, since we're celebrating it, one of the things I wanted to ask you, well, we know representation matters. What does it mean to you too to create stories where queer women get to experience joy, complicated love, and those happily ever afters?
For me, it's everything. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but I served in the military. I served many years before Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Yeah.
And so never ever did I think I would be able to get married, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so pride, so representation, I don't take for granted that I can call somebody my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now I am still a little bit mindful about where we walk and hold hands, right? Because you still need to be safe.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful to be able to write some of those stories that I looked for when
Mm-hmm.
I was younger. And I don't take that for granted, that we can tell stories now that folks younger than us can find, not even just younger, but just folks can find
Yeah.
in the bookstore, in the libraries.
Right.
So you know, I can do Pride, and we do Pride, right? I mean, Pride is the month of June, but us, when you look like us, we do Pride 365.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Someone asked us not long ago about where did we come up with like the friend groups and things like that, and we're sitting in a bookstore, and some of our friends were around, both gay, straight, and we're like, because that we write from an authentic place because that's our lived experience.
Right.
And so, because and that's the other thing, and that leads back into your previous question, what you want people to take away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Cultivate and nurture your village
Yes.
is so, because, and that's why we spend a lot of time, like in our first book. I remember our editor was like, you know what, your characters eat a lot. Like, they're always, and I'm thinking, right? You got the cookout, you got the, hey, meet me for some coffee. Hey, girl, I need to talk to you because some stuff is going down. It may be over coffee, maybe over a lunch, and I'm like, yeah, we do, but you got to eat. But that's just it. I don't know. It wasn't unusual for us, but
Yeah.
um but we write about our lived experience, and it and yes, it is there are queer people, and they experience joy and laughter and family and community, and that's because that's our life, you know, that's our
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And what stories right now are you two reading? Are you reading any stories right now?
Oh my God.
We're part of a family book club, and so right, as if we don't have anything. And I just finished Coded Justice by Stacey Abrams. I
Okay.
love Stacey Abrams, and what I love about her books are they're so complex, right? And so I'm reading on my Kindle and Libby, and Libby doesn't understand some of her long words, and so
Mhm.
then I have to look at my phone and look up what this word actually means. And I was like a spelling bee person. So I'm like, I can spell it, but what does this word mean?
Yeah.
I just finished Code of Justice by Stacey Abrams.
Well, and then we laugh because the family book club is reading The Choir Director by help me out, Carl
Weber.
Weber.
Carl Weber.
Weber.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an older book,
Yeah.
but excuse me, I'm like, oh my God.
Anytime.
it
It's interesting.
it is interesting, but yeah. And
The
so
way I
that's
chuckle
what
when
we're
I'm have to look that up. The way y'all, I'm have to look that up.
I mean, if you like, if you want to escape right from it and just just get into somebody else's messiness, it's
Yeah.
probably pretty appropriate.
It's a good read.
Yeah,
I
for
like
that.
messy stories, so.
Yeah.
Well, good. Rapid fire questions. I have some
Uh-oh.
quick ones, some quick
Okay.
little
Okay.
questions
Okay.
for you
Okay.
guys. Okay. All right. And some of these are not bookish; they just fun.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Both.
Okay. Morning writers or night writers?
Morning.
I'm a night person.
Okay.
Actually, I am a late night, so it's early morning. I
Okay.
do my best work probably between 12 midnight and
Yeah.
2 a.m.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I can't say that. I'm a night reader. Like I'll be up late writing. Yeah. I mean reading. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Paperback or hardcover?
Paperback.
Paperback.
Okay. Favorite romance trope?
Mm.
Enemies to lovers.
Mm,
And I
like
like a second chance. I like a good second chance
I
too.
do like
I like
second
it.
chance.
I want the underdog to win.
I like a second chance.
Yeah, I do like second chances too. Yeah. Okay. One trope you'll never get tired of.
Second chance.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Remember-
that I will never get tired of. I've just since it's rapid fire. Let's go with second chance.
okay. Character you'd most want as a best friend, maybe from a book that you read or your own.
From our book, it would have to be Stephanie. And from How Stella Got a Groove Back, I can't
Uh-huh.
remember the name of the character, but it was played by Whoopi Goldberg.
What was her character name?
Whoopi Goldberg
Am I getting it?
and How Stella Got a Group.
Didn't Whoopi die? Didn't
Oh,
friend
Yeah,
die?
it's a friend.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't
yeah,
think of the
yeah,
name.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't
Okay.
think of the friend's name, but it was played by Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
I forgot she was in that.
that's right. Because
Mm-hmm.
she told her get it going.
Okay. All right. Favorite writing snack. Do you have something always to the side when you're writing?
I have a cup of tea. Usually, it's a cup of tea.
Yeah. Tea. Okay.
I'm usually either popcorn or pretzel, like with no salt.
Okay. With like the little pretzel.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Okay. Okay.
yeah, and like but a combination of like mixed. Why are you laughing? Why are you
I'm listening. I'm listening.
laughing? Like mixed nuts and pretzels.
Remember,
Yeah.
you said this was between 12 and 2, though, right? Remember,
I know. Okay. Choices. Well, Well, good. All right, that was fun. That gets us a little, let us know a little more about y'all.
So,
Um, so right now, there is a little option on here for questions or whatnot or comments. Any questions from our folks that have joined us? Do you have any questions? Juju said delish.
I saw that. Delish.
Oh, is Selena her name? Juju? She put a name on there. I wonder, was that
I
Whoopi's
think
name in the
Whoopi's
thing?
name from, I think
Oh,
it was
that's right.
Selena.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
You gotta
All
love trivia.
right. Delilah. She
Delilah.
guessed.
Delilah. Yeah, Delilah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Now
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look that up after just to confirm. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, good. So, in closing, what is next for you both, Naomi and Rivers?
So our next book is about a naval officer, and there's still we're on the cusp of Don't Ask, Don't Tell being repealed.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um, and it's about again back to relationships and villages and staying connected and how you do that when like your job circumstances pull you apart.
Mm,
um and so it's also about centering a woman who is in a place in the so it is serving when not a whole lot of people are Black females in that particular, and so how does that work and how she handles it and so forth and so on, and then how she tries to keep her girlfriend.
okay. Got a romance over there. Yeah. Okay.
And so Jael first showed up in this.
Hmm.
She was about to be deployed. And I'm like, you know what? We got almost 50 years of military experience between the two of us. We
Mm,
need to tell this story.
okay. Yeah. I love when I always, when reading stories, I always wonder, like, is this all imagination or how much is it from some lived experience? So I love that you guys essentially confirm like that you weave some of what you've experienced in the story too.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
yeah.
so I mean, people that have been writing a long time that probably start exploring other things. For us, it's just like, hey, we still got stories within us about our experiences that we need to get on paper. Maybe they may never see the light of day,
Yeah.
but we think at least the next one and probably the one after that are pretty good in terms of it's fictionalized,
Yeah.
but it's yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
And then we
Nice.
heard readers have asked for Jasmine and T to get married.
Ah,
So that's a whole different. So we'll
might
see.
be another project. Might be another
Right, right.
project. Yeah. Okay, that's exciting. Well, essentially, I want you guys. Where can everyone find you? Support your work, stay connected. I dropped the website. It's right here down for folks to snag the copy and check it out. But I always wonder, like, do you have preferred space where you want folks to purchase your book and so forth? Leave reviews on. What would you tell our audience?
I would say, in terms of purchasing books, please, please, please support independent bookstores.
Yes.
There's also bookshop.org. And that way you can purchase your book and your favorite bookstore can get the proceed, get a portion of the proceeds from that. Libraries,
Yeah.
please ask your local libraries to carry us. And then that way there are other books that look like us in some of those spaces. And then we're on IG at Naomi Rivers Books. You have the website.
Same
And
Facebook.
same on Facebook. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am.
Yep.
Wonderful. Yay. Well, I am so happy that you joined me this evening, that we talked
Thank
about the
you.
books. I hope folks get those books, do the review, everything, all the things. It sounds like a wonderful story.
Thank
I'm definitely about to read both. But we linked so quickly. I was like, yeah, I can't read both of them before we meet, but I will be reading it. But even just the synopsis and the insight that you gave us this evening, I was like, that's definitely giving me enough information. I'm invested. I'm interested. You know.
We
Um,
appreciate that.
And I would love your take since you're a social worker.
That's right.
yes, yes. I was
That's
just
right.
like, okay, I gotta get to know her.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And
You
everything you
asked,
described, I was
you
like,
asked,
yeah, overthinker. Yeah, very much caring. Yeah. Got it.
you
But
asked
good. But
about reviews. Reviews are helpful,
yes,
by the way.
yes,
Review on
yes.
Goodreads or the Amazons of the world, Barnes, and the reviews are very helpful, and they help authors and they help other people find our work. And so the books are available on those other retailers, but we do encourage people to, work with their local libraries as well as bookshop and the independent bookstores. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, readers who've joined us. And I'm definitely going to be sharing this on the profile too for anyone who missed it. But thank you both, Naomi Rivers, for
Thank you.
coming on, doing the author spotlight, sharing about two of your books. Jasmine, Teresa, I can't wait to learn more about them. Look, we got folks already saying Buddy reads. I'm with it. Let's do it, Juju. Tisha's ordering it. Okay. So definitely click that link, order you a copy. And thank you, ladies, for being with
Thank
us this
you so
evening.
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.